welcome back everybody to another episode of Rural Canada A. In today's build, I had grand aspirations of getting quite a bit done and a really special build, which ended up resulting in a aviation club and one highway interchange. Now, the interchange is pretty hot, but, you know, I always feel like I could get so much more done than I ever actually do, but that's the detailer's life, and if you're a detailer out there, you know it all too well. So we're going to come in here, and I decided, you know what, I may not like that airport cargo road, but what the heck, we definitely need something like that in this build. Like, we just need cargo. Now, it's not going to be much. We're just going to do one station here, and it seemed to fit pretty well in this little section here by the fuel tankers and a couple of those small airport hangars. Yeah, the road is whatever, but it does end up fitting in pretty well. And you know what? It doesn't look too bad, all things considered at the end once it's finally in there. But yeah, thanks so much to everybody who's checked out any of the episodes, checked out the channel. Again, I'm going to say this every single heckin' episode because I appreciate it so much. So to all of you that stop by, check out the videos, support the content here, it means the absolute heckin' world to me. I really appreciate it. We're going to kick things off, though, today a little bit earlier with the question of the video. What style of cities do you love to create? Now, this can be create in City Skylines, or what style of cities do you plan to create in City Skylines 2? Let me know in the comments below. Very curious to see what everybody likes to. For me, I like building usually bigger cities, but if I'm being honest, I've recently gotten much more into rural and small towns. I mean, I'm from a small town, but I left it for the big city, and moving, like, IRL-wise, I don't think I'd leave the big city. I definitely, prefer it over small town living. But, yeah, let me know. What cities do you love to create in this game? Or City Skylines 2, or, like, what will you create in City Skylines 2? I'm going to come here up with this road, and my initial plan here was to do a taxiway attachment here. So this is inspired by Chilliwack, British Columbia. And as you can see there, they've got their own little area with access to the taxiway. And I was trying to figure out how I could best create that in game. So I come in here and I try to attach this own taxiway, which does look good and work, but you're going to see what will happen later on, and we're actually going to scrap this entire idea for something different, and an asset that I actually forgot existed, that isn't too heckin' bad. A beautiful vanilla asset. I often find myself being quite surprised by vanilla assets in this game. Coming in with node controller to shape up the nodes. Again, it won't stay, but it's cool things. You can do node controller on taxiways, and it will still function. It doesn't break it, just like how we use move it on the taxi, or the plane stands, I think they're called. Taxi stands, maybe, where the airplanes come from. It didn't break it either. So I'm quite surprised. Usually, sometimes messing with mods and in some of these assets that have a lot of built-in stuff going on, it can cause them to break, but that just doesn't seem to be the case with Airports DLC, which has me pretty heckin' stoked on that. So I was looking around for something helicopter related. Now, I know that there's helicopter assets on the workshop, like to create your own helicopter depot, and it would appear that that's what I'm going to have to do, because I tried with this asset here, and I just didn't like how it looked, in comparison to what we have with the fire helicopter depot, which I actually really like. I just wasn't the biggest fan of this asset here, and I couldn't find anything else that kind of fit it. So maybe I'll go look on the workshop, because we definitely need a recreational helicopter, like a helicopter tours type thing going on here for this city. Gonna come in here, though, with this bad boy asset here, and I totally forgot that this existed. This is the one that I was referencing earlier here, the Aviation Club asset, and I believe this comes with the Sunset Harbor DLC. What a cool asset. We end up making the runway work for us, but I'm going to try first to remove it. If you hold the left Alt key using Move It, you can actually select networks within buildings and remove them yourselves. Likewise, you can also use the RON mod to swap out a network. But yeah, coming in, remove that, but you're going to see it gets a little bit wild here, and this is why we had to actually keep it, but it ended up working in our favor, and I'm really happy with how this turned out. Yeah, so it kind of surprised me. But coming up here with this rural asphalt road, and I'm going to drag it out here, and I'm going to do one of my favorite tricks here, and I get asked about this a lot, creating custom cul-de-sac ends. You're going to want to get 2 nodes nice and close together there. Come in with node control on the end. I typically go to about 160. I went way too big on this one, and we actually end up having to redo this, as you'll see later in the episode. I stick to around 160 is usually my go-to for that, to create your own custom cul-de-sac. So just get 2 nodes nice and close together, node controller, the final node. Coming in with the apron here just to clean up the edges, because I see that airports have so much pavement. Even the ones like Kamloops has got decent nature around it, and I mean, YVR in Vancouver does as well too. Gonna come in here with the what was it called? Resource brush, I guess. I don't know what the technical name is, because unfortunately, like I don't know. I don't like the look of it, but you'll see like the ruining texture Z fights, and we talked about this in the last episode. Z fights with the Laviant theme, like the ruined or gravel theme, which is super sad. It's not the most ideal, but it is what it is, because the theme is freaking gorgeous. I just wish it didn't Z-fight so much. And maybe if I switched to the Laviant Ruined texture, it would stop that Z-fighting. But if I remember correctly, I didn't like the Laviant Ruined texture as much as the, I think it's a theme called Uvaspina that I'm using. So I'm going to come in and detail all this up. Guess what? You want to know something crazy? None of this stays. But this is cool detailing you can implement in your cities. And these avatar assets are terrain conforming, which is really cool because they conform to the terrain, which is useful sometimes. Quite a lot, especially for grass. But yeah, come in here, I do all this pretty detailing, and all of it, and I mean literally all of it, ends up getting yeeted. But that's city building. We talk about this a lot. It's why I try not to cut out too much footage. You know, even things where I'm like, meh, I should keep it, or I should cut it out. I try to keep the footage. But you're gonna see what's happening here. Right there, I noticed it. I might have deleted the network, but the AI still sends out planes that connect into the airplane path. So no matter what I do, unless I converted the asset to procedural objects, which I didn't want to do, it's always going to shoot out planes. But that got me thinking, these are different planes. Like, I noticed the texture there, and I actually really like the look of them, because they're small little, well, aviation club, they're small little, what I would call like Cessna planes, from my very limited knowledge plane of flight sim, almost said American Truck Sim, Microsoft Flight Sim. So I like it, and I thought about this idea here, but I realized, no, there's just no way, right? That the plane would be so close to ATC and so much, like, it's just not going to happen, right? It just, you know, like, look at that. They're small planes, so sure, but it just didn't make any sense. And so I finally decided, you know what, no matter how far I push it out, the path is still too close to the airport, and we're gonna have to change it up. Now, Kamloops Airport actually has a separate runway that crosses over. And so I thought, while this one's too small for that, what if we had it on that same angle to make it a little bit more realistic for the planes would come in? And if I'm being honest, now correct me if you know more about this than me, which is probably everybody, because I really don't know a lot about this. I just do what looks cool and what I see on Google Maps. Yeah, let me know if this is unrealistic. If I'm being honest, I'm probably going to keep it because I think it looks cool. And it looks realistic to me. It doesn't look, you know, unrealistic at all for how the planes would come in and interact. I guess the only other thing I would change is have it interact with the other bigger one. But all things considered, I'm really happy with how it turned out. So yeah, I don't know. I think we're gonna keep it. But do please, I love getting educated on this stuff. So please do correct me if you're like, nah, this doesn't make sense, and here's why. Because yeah, I really do love to learn about that stuff and you know, get educated on this game. I've learned so many heckin' like random cool things in this game from people. So again, using that move it trick there, so that's left alt to drag out the networks. Wanted to give it just a little bit more space there, room for the planes to come in. But I'm so heckin' excited about this because now we have these super cool small little Cessna planes flying all over, and they happen to fly around the city, which is like, it's crazy cool. I don't know how we lined that up. I don't know how that happened, but it's so damn cool. So here it is coming in, unfortunately deleting all that nature detail in there, and then we're going to convert it back to dirt. And I still try to get the theme to look okay, because I try to fight the Z fighting that occurs. You know, I'm not, it's not my finest work, I'll tell you that, with the theme there. But yeah, you make it work, you know. Besides, City Skylines 2 is coming, and it will solve all of our problems. Right? I think? Likely? Okay. Anyways, coming back in here, you're going to see moments throughout this, and I've talked about this in other episodes before as well, too, where I kind of just, like, pause for a second. That's me looking at Google Maps. And you spend a lot of time looking at Google Maps when I'm creating these episodes, so if you ever see these pauses, probably I should just go in and cut those out. But I don't know. Again, I like to keep as much of the footage in as I can because I want to, like, this is me playing the game. You know what I mean? It's not crazy edited. Like, this is me playing the game, and I feel like it can relate to a lot more people out there. That way. And then looking here for prop planes, kind of going through, realize that they might not be called, like, planes didn't pull up anything. So if I just type in air, it kind of, you know, like that helped find some stuff there. Found these maple airplanes, and they are so cool. However, I'm not getting any of them spawning from my from my airplane things here. I had to convert them. You're gonna see me do it here. I convert these down. So I did convert them all to small. I'm now gonna go back to the small, medium, medium, small, because I thought that some of the Maple Air assets said that they spawn only on medium, but they look like small planes, you know, like they look like they'd work for it. Unfortunately, still at the end of the episode, and even by the time I'm recording the cinematics, no, none of the Maple airplanes are spawning, so maybe they do require the large one, which is unfortunate, because I really like that asset, but if it's only going to spawn on large, then it is what it is. But there's also a very real possibility, because I could have sworn that it said medium. There's a very real possibility that I wasn't patient enough. But yeah, I want to try and do what I can to make mostly Maple airplanes spawn from here, because they look really, really good. So I go in there, and you can see me messing with stuff in advanced vehicle options here. But yeah, I mean, check it, and that one said medium, so I don't know what's going on, but I'll keep my eye out and see if I can get, like, maybe if I remove everything but Maple Air. I don't know, is that how I gotta do it? We'll see. But yeah, you can see it right there, right? One of them is medium, so it should be spawning. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if I just wasn't, you know, patient enough there for it. I saw that the helicopters were coming back in mass, so I wanted to check up on the city here and make sure that it hadn't completely burned down. And then I noticed I had my Van Moosefer theme on, so let's remove the snow, convert it back, which I should have done before recording, but again, welcome to city building. You know, with so many projects on the go, it just, you know, is what it is. Want to give a special shout out here to a creator by the name of Slay3K. Me and Slay3K are going to be doing a building project on YouTube here. His channel will be linked below, and I highly suggest you subscribe to it because the episodes will be alternating weeks. And so it's going to be the city of Broughton. Really hope I'm saying that correctly. Slay came up with the name. Slay, let me know if I said that wrong, but Broughton, right? I believe, yeah. And yeah, it's going to be a small Midwest city, so Moose goes American. But I got an American friend from Atlanta to help me out there, so we'll see how that goes. Super excited for that one. It's going to be extremely small. Like, we're looking at, like, towns that have populations of, like, 2 to 3K, something super small that we can get done before City Skylines 2 comes out, and then, you know, begin our collaboration journey in City Skylines 2 there as well. So yeah, super freaking excited. So make sure, yeah, go check out Slay. Freaking amazing individual, by the way, and his content is top tier. So yeah, go check that out. And I'll let you guys know in the community tab when the episode's coming. On the topic of other projects, though, I can't say too much about this, but I am going to be doing another content venture. I think the pilot episode for it will premiere on the channel here, but I believe it's going to have its own dedicated channel. I can't tell you too much about it, but it is another podcast format video that I'm going to be doing with some amazing guests, but it has a very unique style to it that I'm so heckin' excited to share with all of you. So that'll be coming down the pipeline very, very soon. And yeah, I don't know. I might try and do that, a one-tile Dutch city on the channel here before Cities 2 comes. I don't know. Maybe I'll run out of time, but I'm going to try. I'm trying to put a bigger emphasis on YouTube content going forward. So yeah, I might try and do that one-tile Dutch city on the channel. Let me know. So this is iteration 1. I hate it. Not a big fan of it. No, I'm sorry. I like it, but not for what we're doing here. So we are inspired by Chilliwack, British Columbia. Here's the interchange that's inspiring this build. So we had the idea, but it was all flat, which is not uncommon. You have interchanges like this in Kamloops. and actually lots of Okanagan cities for that matter. But since we're getting inspired by Chilliwack here, I want to do a Chilliwack interchange. So I'm going to come back in here, and you're going to see me like this. It doesn't look bad. You know, make some changes to it, node controller, detail it, do all that good stuff. And I'm going to come in. I'm like, you know what? We got to do a true Chilliwack interchange. Because when I do get to that special sentimental build for all of you, that one is based in Chilliwack, and as such, I want to really capture a lot of Chilliwack, and it'll make more sense once I tell you more. I just don't want to spoil it, but once I tell you more about the build and we actually get that episode running, which I was really hoping to be this episode, but the interchange took a lot longer than I thought. But yeah, I think it'll make sense. You'll see why I'm trying to put a lot of emphasis on capturing the look and feel of Chilliwack, British Columbia in this part of the area, despite the fact that the project is based in the Okanagan. So I'm going to come in here first. We're going to get the idea laid down. Now, I've been using these networks all over, and they're an amazing network by Hockenheim, the rural highway networks. The issue for me is they do not play nice with other assets, or networks, I should say, which is unfortunate, and they don't do well on elevation, surprisingly. I don't know if Hockenheim's aware of it. I don't even know if it's like really a bug, but it seems that you can't have ground networks interact with the elevated segment. Still, absolutely gorgeous networks. They're just not the most easy to build with in comparison to something like North American freeways, which is much easier to use and works much, much better. Oh man, they're such gorgeous networks. But I'm going to come in here and you'll see me eventually. We're going to switch out to NAF. Yeah, this interchange and it's probably because I started with the wrong networks. If I started with just NAF, it probably wouldn't have taken as long. We could have gotten to the other thing, but I don't know. You learn so much in building. Like, it's just, you know, it is what it is. It's just, you know, welcome to city building, right? Nothing's fast, nothing's quick, and that's kind of just like IRL cities as well, too. So again, any of those pauses that you see or any time that I just pause the camera is just me looking at Google Maps. I use Google Maps a lot for this because I really wanted to capture the feel of Chilliwack there. So here it is. We're going to switch over to North American freeways. And I think going forward on this build, we're going to switch as much back to NAF as we can instead of the Hockenheim ones, just because they do work with other networks, whereas Hockenheim roads, I noticed this with big suburbs as well too, but it seems like Hockenheim roads only really work with Hockenheim roads and aren't meant to work with other networks, which is unfortunate, but it's, you know, just how it is. So yeah, we're going to switch them to North American freeways just because those work a little bit better there. Now, another thing you're going to see happen a lot here, and it's because the nodes are stretched too far, so I got to come in and change that up, is blue holes at the node connect points for both on and off ramps on both sides. I removed too many nodes, stretched it too far, and when you do that, you can do it and the cars will use it. There's no issue. Like, as you'll see in the end product, no vehicles don't have issues driving through it. But what happens is you get these blue voids that appear at certain camera angles, and that's just because the node has been stretched too far. And so you need another node to lessen that distance or reduce it in node controller to prevent those blue holes from appearing. It's something that I probably should have done so you don't constantly see these blue holes flashing, but it is something that I will come in to adjust so that we can get rid of that because it drives me crazy. It's very, very, very sus. So here we come in with the ending pieces so that we can get both sides of the on and off ramps correct. And don't worry, I will adjust the directions there. They will get sorted. They're not going to stay wrong. So don't panic too much. We'll come in and get all that sorted. But yeah, you can see me here. So I'm deleting nodes to get that perfect straight line there. But in node controller, it is just stretched a little bit too far. So we're going to come in and adjust that. We can keep the angles that we have here. It's the node on the end that I want to push a little bit closer. That should solve the blue hole problem that you're going to see throughout this episode here. So yeah, coming in to get this all sorted and get the directions correct, get the roads so they make a little bit more sense here. And I'm actually going to use a lot throughout here for the detailing are these intersection marking tool templates, and they're actually for North American freeways. Super useful, and I forget the user's name, but yeah, created them. They're in my asset collection, and so you can come in, the template's already there, and you can match the lines perfectly to the colors already that North American freeways are, which is like, damn, that saves so much heckin' time. Super heckin' useful as well too, because you've already got like, there's your template, there's your colors, it all works, right? And it all is within the same color scheme, like it blends nicely. Man, it saves so much time. Like, what a really cool thing. Coming in here, and then I realized, wait a second, this one doesn't have a dedicated lane to turning. Only the off ramp, right? Off ramp, I think is what we call it. On takes you to the road. Off? Wait. On ramp. I'm getting it mixed up. Oh god. But yeah, the one side has it, the other doesn't. So, you know. Wanted to call that out again too, just in case maybe you forgot or maybe you tuned in right now, but no other part of the video. I got a question for you, all of you watching right here, right now. What style of cities do you love to create in City Skylines? This can also be applied to City Skylines 2. What style of cities would you like to create in City Skylines 2? Let me know in the comments below. So, coming in with these templates here, doing the chevrons, because so Ontario, from what I've seen in Toronto, doesn't do chevrons, and I kind of like the look of it, but chevrons is like so crucial to here, so we gotta add it. And once we add it, like, it completely ties together. It's like, okay, this is British Columbia, Okanagan, or in this case inspired by Chilliwack, but you know, British Columbia highways, right? So it really you know, comes together, and it really ties the whole thing together. But there's another part that I'm gonna do after adding the chevrons that is gonna make this build even more better. I think that's a good sentence, I don't know. Even more of the better that you'll see come in here. So I add the chevrons, and I'm gonna add one more attachment because it really does make it look better. I'm gonna make sure in node controller that they're all correct there, and we're gonna drag out the road here to get those segments together. So I think in next week's episode, what we're gonna do is go for a little bit more of like the sort of the Chilliwack style vibes, you know what I mean? Go for more like what it looks like in Chilliwack, and I'm really gonna try and see if I can get that special sort of more sentimental build going. And there's that blue hole again. It drives me it drives me crazy. I thought I added that special thing already. Did I do it like coming up here? It really ties the entire build together. So hopefully the past moose season gets it sorted. But oh, right there, you could see it too with those. Oh my god, those blue holes. We got to get that sorted. I'm going to do that off camera and get that fixed because, oh my god, even just now it's driving me crazy. But of course, crucial, coming with the grass to try and make it look good. Again, I don't know if I'm getting the blend right. It's, you know, it's not my finest work with blending the textures. I'm not that great with Theme Mixer, so, you know, it is what it is. I don't think it looks horrible, and the themes look amazing, so they'd sell it a lot more. But I'm starting to try and get there and make it look good. I think when more areas are tied together with the green, it's going to look better because it looks a little bit out of place just like in the middle of what like looks like more deserty. So as more places come together and are connected, I think it'll look good. Oh, right. First, I'm going to do something cool here. Node controller. So coming in with node controller, going to attach the nodes here so that you get the alignment the way it would be in real life. See that? Like, that's perfectly straight on the side that doesn't have the added lane. The side that has the added lane is going to be the side that's tilted off. And that's just using node controller and the shift key to shift it off so that it's all lined up there. And like, when we get that, boom, solid line the whole way. Oh, it looks so heckin' good. And then of course the finishing touches, you got to come in with intersection marking tool, a little bit of node controller first, and then some intersection marking tool to tie it all together. But like, hell yeah, it's such a cool, like, so heckin' useful, man. So damn useful. And those templates, like, whoever did that, I forget your name, but you are an absolute gem of a human for doing that. It just, yeah, it saves so much time. We're going to do that on the other side here as well, too. And I think, is this going to be the moment where I finally remember that, like, hey, I should do another chevron thing because it's going to make it look good. Is this it? This is it. Okay, cool. So this is what's going to sell this build a lot more. So if you intersect the lines here, we're going to adjust where they start and end to create a chevron right out of here that's kind of like in the middle, like no man's land, but to help separate the lanes so you know who's turning and who's going straight. Obviously, you're going to see, like, you know, somebody's blinker on, but, you know, BMW's classic car, and I think all models of BMW, the blinker doesn't work on them. So for cars like that, like a BMW that doesn't come equipped with a blinker, you can sort of tell by the chevron, you know, which vehicles are going which way, and it just kind of, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm talking about, but it looks cool. It looks realistic. So we're heckin' doing it. And then it took me so long to figure out, like, that doesn't look good, right? But there's a way to fix it when it's off center like that. And I couldn't figure it out at all. And I was like, man, is it just like, did I do the lines wrong? Like, what's going on? So I try that first, and then it's like, no, the lines are fine. It's this one, the guides. Yeah, so I turn the guides. Boom, there it is. So now it matches. So I can go back to my original, turn the guides, make sure that the chevrons are facing the right way, and then that sells it. And that really sells the overall look too when you have those in there together. Like, it ends up looking so much better having that chevron on the other side. Saw that there was some foliage at the one in Chilliwack here, the interchange that we're inspired by here. So I want to come in and do that. And this is going to show you that just adding trees, right? Just adding trees. You just use the forest brush. You're not going to go crazy with it. Just adding trees changes the build forever. Like, it literally enhances everything coming in and adding trees. It makes anything look realistic and just so damn good. It's honestly crazy how much trees can add to it. But, like, look at that, eh? With just those trees, like, it's already looking so heckin' good. Oh, man, so impressed with that there. Yeah, it's something that you can implement, like, kind of everywhere is do trees, you know? Plant trees. Place trees. Do the trees. So now we're going to come in with some grass detailing, and this is going to really sell the overall sort of like end product here with this grass detailing, because it's going to make it look so much more realistic. It just adds a nice touch. Like, there's not a crazy amount of detailing, right? It's not a crazy amount of detailing to get that just a little touch of realism in your projects, right? By coming in with, and the grass too that we talked about earlier, right? It's by Abator. It's my favorite grass to use. Comes in a pack of like 6, I think, landscaping grass. And it's all terrain conforming. I think maybe there's one that's not terrain conforming, which is also useful. But yeah, I'm gonna adjust this road here so that it's not clipping through the terrain there and it's actually on a proper hillside. So we get in and get that adjusted. We're gonna do that to the other side as well too, to the other network there. And they just gotta clean up the trees. You wanna, make sure that visibility is still good for the on and off ramps. Visibility is key. But man, those trees, it still blows me away how much nature detailing adds to a build. Like, it's like the amount of realism that it adds. Nature, it's a couple things. Nature detailing and playing with elevations. Those add so much heckin' realism. So I initially thought here, what if I come in and shrink these down? I'm gonna try it for a bunch just so we have grass all the way to the edge here. Fun fact, it looks horrible. I don't like it, so I end up eating all of it because, yeah, that's, man, that's just, that ain't it. That ain't it, Chief. That ain't it. It's, oh my God. Yeah, it didn't end up, not that it's like, it's not terrible, but yeah, it's not the vibe. So I'd rather just stick with the grass, just ends at a spot there eventually, So we're going to come in and do grass all over, and I kept the footage for all of you here this time. So all the footage is in. Here's me going crazy with the grass detailing so that you get to see all of that stuff there. Because I trimmed it down on the airport build there, and maybe I should have trimmed it down here. Man, I can't. Those blue holes that happen at that certain camera angle, I really do apologize. I don't know if it's like driving any of you crazy as it is to me. If it is, I really do apologize. I'm gonna get it sorted. No blue holes in future episodes. I'll try. That's my sort of like thing that I'm going to sort of stick with there as much as I can. say no to blue holes. But I'm going to come in here with the forest brush again and just lightly detail it. We'll clean up, obviously, the trees that get a little bit too messy there. But this is my new brush. It's called the dry brush, and it's got a bunch of sage mixed in with really low versions of the low poly filler tree that's used throughout the map that Grey Flame used. And so just coming in with that there, just because it's like a lower foliage brush, ends up making it look really, really good. Yeah, super useful brush, man. Forest brush mod. I love it. Final piece here, the most important piece, TMPE. So heckin' useful. You got to make sure you do it too, otherwise it's just not like the way that we want it to appear visually is good, but functionally it won't function the way you want to, and so you got to use TMPE for it, just to make sure that the cars are behaving the way that you want them to in an interchange. So yeah, coming in and doing that, it's the final piece that sort of ties this all together. And then there's one last final piece that's going to bring it even more together. And that is rural utility power line. So I found this asset from City Planner Plays ages ago, and it is just so damn useful. I initially thought about like a big one, but it made more sense to do the smaller rural one. And my God, this smaller rural utility line, oh, it looks so good with this build. But we're about to enter the time-lapse portion, so I'm going to leave you here with that beautiful power line, beautiful look at our interchange, and I'm going to let Moose 2 take over in the live play portion. I think I often call this portion the time-lapse, like I mess it up, but it's the live play portion. I'll catch you all very, very shortly here for the live play. Welcome back, everybody, to the live play portion of the episode. Really happy with how this interchange turned out, and once again, another episode where I thought we'd get way more done than we did, but I like to keep the episodes not insanely long. So it is what it is. I was, really hoping that we could get to that special build that's going to take place, like, around here-ish? Yeah, probably in this area. But the interchange is the key part to getting it started, right? So coming in and getting this all sorted, which I'm really happy with how it turned out as well. I will probably come in at some point and, I don't know, maybe I'll do it on camera, maybe I do it like off camera or on live stream. Come in with some detailing, like signs and stuff like that. Just the light, non-crazy detailing. But just a little bit of stuff that brings it together. I mean, already, just with the detailing that we did, those power lines, kind of crazy how much that, yeah, wow. How much, like, just power lines added to it. And then the grass detailing, a couple of the bushes, trees around here. Like, I am so stoked with how this turned out. So yeah, there it is. There's the interchange from the from the time lapse there. And then we're going to hop over here. And I need you all to let me know, what do you think of this? Do we delete this? Is it silly? Does it make sense? You know, what's the plan here? I personally like it. I wish I could use the new asset instead, like the new runways. But seeing these little small planes, and I wonder if I can catch one. I caught one during the time lapse, but the footage is sped up, right? So I don't know if it's harder to see than if we come in here. Yeah, right there. Look at this. Let's see. What? There it is. Just, yeah, look at that. Isn't that cool? These small little, like, Cessna planes, yeah? Flying around the city. Like, so if you come down to here, we come down to, like, the downtown, you should be able to, what would the angle be? Yeah, look at that. Well, that's, no, okay. All right. There it is. flying around up there. I don't know. I think that's so freaking cool to me. Yeah, really cool assets of just where's the airport? It's just a vanilla asset. I'm really stoked at how it turned out. But yeah, we had a comment last video asking about a aviation club. So the only thing that I'm not sub to is like a bunch of Cessna, like smaller plane props. I'm going to get some to those, and then we'll come in and properly detail this. I want to see a bunch of planes just out here parked, like what I saw in Chilliwack there, which is where I took the inspiration from for this. But yeah, I'm really happy with how that turned out. And the little cul-de-sac thing, you know, that it works everywhere, right? It's so useful, that little trick. But yeah, really, really happy with it. And like, again, being honest, like, I kind of like it. Like, it makes sense, you know. It's got enough space here, smaller planes that they can come in. I think this makes sense to me. I like the look of it. So yeah, just let me know. Let me know if it's wild or if it's you know, too much. And then, man, it honestly felt like we built so much more, but you know, that's yeah. It is what it is. Interchange and an aviation thing that's not detailed. You know, welcome to how I play the game. It takes so damn long just doing stuff and getting it to look the way I want to. You know, but that's part of it, right? That's part of how these things go, right? So, but before we wrap up, super quick live play here, because there's not, you know, too crazy much to show off. But we're gonna have like a Chilliwack inspired. I know it's mostly based off the Okanagan, but like a little Chilliwack inspired area is going to go on over here, sort of like around this interchange, maybe just in this pocket, but maybe it extends out over here with lots of farmland. But yeah, question of the video: what style of cities do you love to create in City Skylines? You can even let me know, like, what style of cities are you interested in creating when City Skylines 2 comes out? Yeah, let me know. I want to hear from all of you in the comments below. As always, a huge, huge thank you to the Patreon and Coffee subscribers who help support the channel so heckin' much. It really does mean a lot. Disney Dude 1, Shane Turner, Fish Bob, Hey Guy Buddy, Braygard, William Epps, the Yed _, Anthropophagic, the Jonah, and Trevor Sabo. Thank you all so much for the support. Again, it seriously, seriously means a lot. As always, remember, no matter what life throws at you, you matter, you are loved, you have a purpose. Happy building out there, everybody. I'll catch you all in the next episode of Rural Canada A.